I'm going to tell you, we talk about the weather. Look at this track temperature, 122 degrees. That's actually about 50 degrees warmer than last night. You see the air temperature, 68 degrees. That's about 20 degrees warmer. These cars are definitely going to slide around during this race.
Yeah, earlier today it was 105, and not only that, but yesterday afternoon, Larry, it was 85 degrees. So that's a huge change, and that's going to make a huge change in these cars.
200 laps make up the 300-mile distance of today's race.
Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. That's where the young guys could get in trouble, Darrell. If we do have green flag stops, we've seen it time and time again. Getting on the pit road here, it sits almost right in the middle of turn 4, the entrance. That's where the veterans could prevail, knowing how hard to push that car coming to pit road under green.
Those cones down there, too, getting in on pit road. You got to be single file when you get there, so you can't do any racing. There's not enough room to anyway. But that's going to be another problem.
Several teams have made changes, and these drivers will go to the rear.
That was all engine changes. Only significant, Randy LaJoy, he was going to start 29th. Justin Ashburn and Mike Harmon, they were already starting into the rear, but engine change this morning before the race, so they have to go to the rear of the field.
A big field for this race, 50 cars for the 43 spots, and you can see there is the line and the cones, the commit line for pit road, and look how much further along that is than the road the line that starts pit road near the Sunoco and the scoring pile.
And look what a sharp turn that is off the track too. I mean, you just about got to make a 90-degree turn to get off the racetrack. Plus, somebody's bearing down on your back end. You got to have a little room back there.
Okay, DW, it's hot, it's slick. You got to take care of your tires. I've only got 3 sets to give you under caution. Reach up there and pull them belts tight one more time.
You got it, baby. And we are in Las Vegas, and I think it's only appropriate we start this race off the way we're supposed to. The right way.
Absolutely.
All right, the Dodge SRT 10 Ram hits pit road, and here they come.
Boogity, 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 boys. Viva Las Vegas.
Bobby Hamilton Jr., that 25 car on the outside, he'd love to win that race in the turn 1. He's going to do it now. He'll bring it to the bottom. Everybody be right around the bottom on these fresh tires. Got a good run off turn 2 as well, about 3 car lengths.
3 wide behind him at about 8th place.
I expect to see that upper group, the higher group, really start to work for some of these guys. Because as they start sliding up the racetrack, they're going to have to be able to utilize that.
Right now, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 car, you heard the report in the beginning. That's the car that everybody was pointing to, and he's pulled out to about 20 car lengths going down the backstretch.
Young driver.
Wily old crew chief.
Harold Holly. And he's one of the ones that elected. In fact, he told me they made race practice runs in qualifying practice yesterday. Last night, he said, we just did a little bit of testing. We put the car how it was the best yesterday.
Guys, one thing I've been watching already, J.J. Yaley started the race in 7th place and has already fell back to 17th. Young man's gotten caught up in this race condition type situation he's not used to, but he's going to the back of the pack in a hurry.
Yeah, the 18 car. And Darrell, wouldn't you agree, what he needs to accomplish here is run 200 laps. That should be his biggest agenda.
And when you've been out there by yourself, qualifying and qualified well, but you get cars all around you, and these cars move a lot more than people realize. There's a lot of air moving around, and that moves the car around.
Hamilton Jr. has checked out. In 3 laps, he's built up a 1.7-second lead. And you don't see that often.
And back to Yaley just a little bit. I mean, he's doing the smart thing. Get somewhere where you're comfortable. Hopefully it won't be at the end of the longest line.
David Stremme, last year's Rookie of the Year with Michael Waltrip. That is in 12th place.
And I think Michael's car will come in the longer we go. I think he'll start running that high line like you see him doing now. And his car traditionally just gets better on the longer runs.
Three wide right behind J.J. Yaley's number 18. Jason Keller, 22, lifts. So we can get back to double file there. Mike Wallace in the picture. Paul Menard up top in the 33.
And Yaley's got a spotter that's telling him, you know, 3 wide and you're in the middle, and, you know, he's dealing with things he hadn't had to deal with before. He's processing information right now, and he can use it to his advantage later on, maybe.
59 car, Stacy Compton underneath the 33 car, Paul Menard. This is a battle back there for about 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. And you know, Darrell, this track traditionally has been a pretty hit-your-mark racetrack. If you don't hit your mark to get in the corner, the only thing you can almost do sometimes is just kind of stop and start over.
Yeah, turn one's really kind of tricky. I mean, you swing out, almost hit the wall going down into turn one there on the outside, and then but you can really drive in hard. Turn three is a little sharper turn, kind of back off early, but pick up the throttle a little quicker.
32, David Stremme dropping back just a bit to 13th. A little bit ahead of him, 2 cars ahead of him, Michael Waltrip. Jeannie?
Well, Michael Waltrip already discussing the fuel strategy here at Las Vegas, even on the very first lap. The decision was, look, let's think about lap 67. But the thought process is, let's keep an eye on where the leaders are. We don't want to give up that much. We can stay out because, as you alluded to there, DW, your bro sure likes to stay out on those long green flag runs.
Yeah, he does, Jeannie, and that car has always been real good on those long runs. That's where he makes up most of his time. But again, I'll just say again, you can't give up. He's at the start line now, and the 25 car is coming off of turn 2 over there. You can't give up that much distance on the racetrack and expect to chase him down.
But the reason he's thinking 67 laps is, even though, Darrell, I know we're going to get a caution, there's no question, but as a crew chief, you have to start planning this race. Green flag from start to finish, 67 laps times 3 is 201 laps. That evens it out.
And when you drive the old Dream machine, you've got to be able to do the math.
Fellow who's doing the math is this man, Johnny Sauter, the Kleenex Pontiac. He's come from 16th to 7th, plus 9 from the start of this race.
And realistically, when everything shakes out, he right now is the Busch Series points leader. Kevin Harvick is not running all the races. Johnny Sauter is second, running the entire circuit.
Speaking of Harvick, there he is in the 21. In 10th place. Just gave up a spot to Greg Biffle. Meanwhile, rookie J.J. Yaley has slipped to 22nd. But his 33.90s right now are about 0.8 of a second off of what the leader is running.
Well, he's just back there in traffic, and he's getting the car's getting blown around quite a bit by that heavy traffic he's in. I think he'll get comfortable later.
Keep working with it. We'll fix it on the first stop for you. Is it tight?
Just a little bit, just taking it easy.
Matt Yoakum with more.
About 5 laps ago, Mike, Doug Hewitt, JJ's crew chief, said, has the car come around yet? He said no. And he didn't answer anything after that. Then his spotter, former Busch Series driver Curtis Markham, chimed in and said, the car looks like it's tight in the center of the corner. That's what it looks like to me. And then you did hear JJ finally say the car is on the tight side.
You know, there's a great voice of experience. Curtis Markham has run a lot of races in this division, knows what he's seeing, translates it to his rookie driver.
And the rookie may not know. So,
one thing about it, he's going to school right now.
Green, green, green.
Teams have the chip. You viewers have the remote. We'll tell you when to use it in just a minute here. Bobby Hamilton Jr., our leader, being challenged by Martin Truex Jr., Joe Nemechek, David Stremme, Kyle Busch, Robbie Gordon, Johnny Sauter, and pole sitter Mike Bliss.
Trying to all get by the lap car, the 10 car there of Jason Schuler, who was a lap down on the inside. Okay, the group that really won the battle off pit road was David Stremme in that 32 car, the Todd Losey crew. They moved his guy up in the top 5 after that pit stop.
All right, folks, you got your hand firmly on that remote. You got that surround sound system you got for Christmas. How about cranking it up for a few laps?
get your surround sound for Christmas, that's what it sounds like. Over 31,000 horsepower in a wide. You see Matt Kenseth in that 9 car continues to move ahead. This is a battle right now with Mike Bliss in the 20, Michael Waltrip in the 99. That's a battle back there for 10th. Matt Kenseth, it's taken him 43 laps, but he's there. He's in the top 10.
And Michael's back up on the outside. I think fresh tires, he really goes good out there on that outside. He may have worn his first set out trying to run the high groove.
Right now, most everybody, like at the beginning of the race with fresh tires, they're running the bottom. It's when you start to slide around, you start to move up the racetrack.
There's just not a lot of grip up there yet. There's sand, there's dirt, there's not much rubber up there. But as these cars race around here side by side, that groove widens out.
Hamilton Jr. not getting away from the field as he did on the initial start of this race. He's got 8/10 on Martin Truex Jr. There's the gap. You see it? Joe Nemechek closing in 3rd, and Kyle Busch in what he hopes will be a triumphant homecoming in 4th. Greg Biffle to the pits unexpectedly.
Yeah, he just came off of pit road, off of the racetrack, down on pit road like he's got a problem. Definitely got a problem.
A lot of times right after a restart, after a pit stop, a vibration will bring you to pit road, especially at a place that has speeds like this.
That's when that driver's saying, "Are you sure y'all got all those lug nuts tight?"
But he's well going to go at least a lap down, if not more.
Pulled the tape off the radiator.
And of course, we talked about it earlier, the hotter temperatures, maybe he was just running too warm with water temperature.
Now watch Biffle at the bottom of the screen, number 60. Up there behind Shane Sieg, who was part of that accident.
Got loose right there. Got up a little bit in the loose stuff. Maybe they think taking a piece of tape off the nose will tighten him up a little bit, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely do that, but I don't know if I would have done that under green.
No, I think
the reason I would have done that under green is if my water temperature was starting to climb. Because he's over a lap down, about a lap and a half down.
He may have thought he had a tire going down, and he gets on pit road and realizes he doesn't. And so they come to the pit road, they stop just to do a little, to pull that piece of tape off.
00 Jason Leffler, the Haas Automation Chevy, trying to climb back up through after being one of 4 cars involved in that caution. And just ahead of him, driving for Tommy Baldwin in the 6, for New York's Paul Wolfe.
And that's actually his last race in this car. Tommy Baldwin, they're going through several drivers. Their next race at Texas will be with the, I think the Silver Crowns racer, Tracy Hines. Mark McFarland's going to drive some races. I think they're just going through a selection of drivers trying to pick who's going to drive this car maybe full time in 2005.
Let's check with Dick Berggren.
Temperatures were going up on that number 60 car of Greg Biffle, Mike, and that's why he pitted. They were worried about that engine. Remember what happened 2 weeks ago at Rockingham, running like Jack the Bear right out front, and they lost one. They didn't want to take any chances at all today, so they pitted just to be sure they didn't hurt that motor.
Yeah, I mean, Dick, you'd have to, you know, the water temperature would have to be climbing significantly again to make that green flag stop to pull tape off.
You know, they probably said under caution there that how's everything look, how's your gauges look, which crew chief does. He probably didn't realize how hot that thing was till he got back racing again.
5th place battle here. 27 is Johnny Sauter, one of Jim Sauter's 11 kids from Necedah, Wisconsin, several of whom have had great careers in NASCAR. Johnny, by his move to Nextel Cup this season, will be the most accomplished of them. His dad, Jim, ran quite a number of Cup races for the Mueller brothers and other teams in a very long career.
You know, but once again, as we ride with David Strimming in the 32 car back in 6th position, this is another one of those racetracks he's never raced at. How good is this kid going to be when he goes back to some of these racetracks for the 2nd, 3rd time?
And Darrell, that seems to be the one key ingredient that owners are looking
Getting really bad.
Is it driving anywhere, or is it just getting vibrating bad?
Vibrating really bad.
That's 32 David Stremme, and I say they look for the drivers who can adapt to racetracks they've never been to. Jeannie?
Well, guys, we heard it on the radio radio right there. David Stremme radioing in saying there is a vibration. It's getting worse and worse. And just moments ago he came on and said, look, I really want to pit. This is not good.
No, I mean, these guys are entering these corners at the end of these straightays, 180 plus miles per hour.
As long as you're there, that's all. They said nothing's going to fall off, so I'm thinking it's equalizing what it's doing, but try to give us a few more laps if we can.
All right, what he's telling him, they think he has an equalized tire. These tires run an inner liner. It's a safety tire within the tire, and it has an air pressure of its own. And what happens, those air pressures, if for some reason they leak across and the air pressures become the same, that's an equalized tire. And Darrell, the way Dale Earnhardt described it to me, it's shaking my fillings out of my teeth.
Exactly.
Now, he will pit as Greg Biffle pitted because in the big picture of running the entire...
Drive fine. We better pit here next 2 laps.
Running the entire Busch Series season. They'll give up some here to try to get a finish and get as many points as they can because they're running the whole season.
Yeah, and you don't want to sit out there until something happens.
Right.
So you got to bring it to pit road. And you leave it up to the driver, which I always hated, because you come to pit road and you go back out and you say, what did they find? What did you find? It says, nothing.
Yeah, isn't that the worst thing a crew chief can say? Can you stand it?
Yeah.
Until the next pit stop. Dave Blaney, 31. The two of Ron Hornaday battle side by side, and they got lots of company.
This is a battle back there for about 19th. And yes, they do. Billy Parker there in the 66 car, the yellow car. That's the car owned by Rusty Wallace. Barry Dobson, the team manager, making their first Busch Series start, running a limited schedule. Johnny Benson in the 1 car.
Catfish Parker. They call him Catfish. I asked Barry Dotson, the general manager, I said, is that because he's a bottom sucker?
Oh. It's because his dad's a famous fisherman, I hope.
Oh, that's what it is.
Stremme's going to pit.
Yeah, he couldn't take it any longer, which is, I think, very wise. He just got to hope now, Larry, that's like always, that maybe they'll cycle through. Jeannie.
Well, this is maybe one of the worst kept secrets of the track because we've been talking about it now for a couple of minutes. Here comes the 32 car of David Stremme as Larry Mack so eloquently explained the equalized tire problem. So the plan right now is to just get him 4 tires, 4 good tires, he hopes, and of course fuel to get right back out on the track.
Yeah, I mean, they have no choice, Jenny. They have to change 4 tires because there's no way for that driver to tell which one may be equalized.
Now, the other unscheduled stop was that of Greg Biffle. Jeff?
Mike, what I've been seeing from down here is the fact that Greg Biffle stopped to get that engine problem took care of. He's at least in position to get the pardon in case a caution does come out. He's been making his way back up through the field, so he's got a good race car. So this could have been a good move on his crew chief's part to keep that engine running because he's still got a strong ride.
56 complete, 144 laps to go.
How about this battle for the lead we got here right now? Bobby Hamilton Jr., the 25, Martin Truex in the 8, and right there behind them, lurking in the 87 car, Joe Nemechek, come from deep in the field. We have us a battle now, boys.
Darrell, for as little experience on the big tracks as Truex has, you'd never know it.
No, but all the drivers I talk to, whether it's Rudiman that drives our truck or whomever it is, when they've never seen these racetracks, you say, how do you do that? They say, they give me good cars. They make it easy for me. I don't have to go out there and worry about the car. Just go out there and worry about finding the line.
Truex has finished second in 3 of his last 4 Busch Series races, tracks he's never been to.
I know what's on his mind. He wants to change that stat today.
Yeah. Getting set for the restart. 19 lead lap cars here at Las Vegas. Green flag, and there's your leader, number 9, Matt Kenseth, in the midst of traffic because all the cars that are on the tail end of the lead lap, because you can't pass the pace car, line up in front of him, behind that pace car, and now Kenseth's got to battle his way through. Kevin Harvick got into the speedy drive that was put down from Casey Atwood's engine. That's what brought out that last caution, and squirreled around in turn 1, as did several other cars. Now the big fight is for those drivers to try to stay on the lead lap, the drivers from 6th through 19th position.
And the way they do that definitely is get a caution quickly. Then they'd be back all the way around behind the leader on the lead lap.
Outside.
Hamilton Jr. is one of them in the 25. The driver who led in the early going.
Yeah, our leader, Matt Kenseth, in the 9, he actually restarted the race back in 12th position.
Now he's getting passed by Jason Leffler, trying to get one of his 2 laps back. And look at the crowd in front of the race leader.
But you know, Darrell, Matt Kenseth is a smart racer. He's leading the race. He don't want to get up there and press the issue. Let some of those guys have their lap back. I'm not going to get up there and press the issue and tear my race car up.
No, one of the things I like about him is he hardly ever beats himself. I mean, they talk about lucky when the caution comes out and lucky for this and lucky for that. It's just good preparation.
Rookie Kyle Busch battling Hamilton Jr. This is for 11th point, and for the lead, Casey Kane, the black 38, comes around Matt Kenseth. Kane, the pole sitter for tomorrow's Cup race.
I think Matt he's just boxed. He doesn't have any, he can't go anywhere, and he's getting, you know, he picks the wrong line here and he gets passed.
But Darrell, what a turnaround that crew has made for this 38 car Casey Kane. Remember, Genie Zelasco talked about not that many laps ago, he was on pit road unhooking a rear sway bar. He was just about to go a lap down at one point.
Well, that's some of that adjustability that you've got to have in your race car to make the proper adjustments or have the opportunity to during the race.
Big pack out in front of the leaders, all scrambling to stay on the lead lap.
The 1 car, Johnny Benson, came to the pit road here
to take right side tires.
Share of problems.
Robbie Gordon, 55, known as a tough guy to get by, and he's going to try to stay on the lead lap here in front of Casey Kane.
Because he'd been running in about the top 10 all day long until he made that green flag stop before the caution came out. Robbie going to run about 25, 26 of these Busch Series races, and there he's trying to stay on the lead lap by Casey Kane in the 38. But I tell you, that 38 car is working good right now.
They've done a good job of getting the car adjusted for the conditions.
And the hole closed up. Leffler went to the bottom, and that kept Matt Kenseth from keeping close contact with Casey Kane.
Now, Robbie Gordon's next task is to try to stay the first car lap down, where if we get a caution, he can get the free pass, just like Randy LaJoie did the last time.
So the cars on that tail end of the lead lap situation are Greg Biffle, Joe Nemechek, Johnny Sauter, Martin Truex Jr., David Green, Kyle Busch, Hamilton, Stremme, Compton, Waltrip, and Keller.
Got to report Johnny Benson in the 1 car did take his car to the garage. See Kevin Harvick in the 21 car right there. Now, right now, he's running in the 3rd position as far as the race. And right behind him now is Randy LaJoie. The 82 car is up to 4th. Remember, he started this race at the back of the field after an engine change.
Had a pretty good car there, and then, of course, he got the break on the caution.
Back at the front of the race, but not the front of the pack, 38 Casey Kane. Looking back at him from Kenny Wallace.
Really hadn't taken Kenseth too long. He's right back in the yellow car behind Kane to close the gap.
Well, I think it's like we were talking, Darrell. He just felt like, hey, I'm not going to push the issue right here, right now. Something's going to happen up in front of me.
Casey Kane at lap 40 was running 32nd. In 75 laps, he's come from there to the lead.
With one little minor adjustment, just pulling a pin out of that rear sway.
I bet he don't think it was minor, though, the way that car's driving now.
Only 2 caution flags so far, and the one near halfway for Casey Atwood's engine, after much of the field had pitted under green, has caught the field in a bit of a crunch here, with Casey Kane trying to work his way through a bunch of cars on the tail end of the lead lap. 11 of them now. Jeannie?
Well, Casey getting help this week from interim crew chief Jamie Jones, and I stress the interim. As I was talking to Jamie this morning, he said Casey got so excited yesterday, he kind of spilled the beans to the media that Jamie Jones was his new crew chief. It has not been officially decided yet, but they're saying if all goes well this weekend, then he will hang around. So far, so good, guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's been working all year long, really, without a crew chief. Tim Shutt from Mike Bliss's team went over there over the winter through January testing. They just felt like things were not clicking, so Tim Shutt left there, and they really don't have a crew chief right now. It's been crew chief by committee.
Jamie?
Can't have two bosses.
Of course, Casey Kane is trying to run both the entire series, the Busch series, all the races, as well as the Nectel Cup series. A lot of racing. And I think that even makes it more important that he has a crew chief he can depend over there in that Busch series.
You got to have a go-to guy, Larry. You know, the driver's got to have somebody that he can go to and say, I need this, I need that. You can't go to a group of guys and tell them. Hammond and I went through that a little bit when I went up to juniors. Tim Brewer and that bunch all left, and Junior said, well, I'm not going to have any more high-buck crew chiefs. And first thing you know, though, I said, man, who am I supposed to call? You know, every time I call, somebody different answers the floor. Your brother Fred answered last week.
Matt Kenseth.
By himself, nobody even close.
Matt Kenseth's right back at it. On the hunt for the lead against Casey Kane in the 38.
Looking in.
Now we're listening
Spotter.
38 Spotter, and what he's telling Casey
Clear, all clear.
is Matt Kenseth is behind you. He's quicker, but he's by himself. When he goes by you, you don't have to worry about somebody else following him. He's by himself.
So Casey Kane is right now running two races, one to keep Matt Kenseth behind him and another to put a
Just a
lap.
heads up, JJ. Looking in. Looking in.
Another to put a lap on Jason Keller, and the other
There,
is just
inside
in
and
front.
nose. Inside. Inside. Clear behind.
Casey's not ready to give up on it just yet, running that high groove. That's where it kind of prevails, though, Darrell, is off the corner.
Clear behind, all clear. JJ, NASCAR just announced new leader to 38 one lap ago. He should have had the leader a long time ago, just for your note.
And what happens over the scanners, NASCAR will always call out who has assumed the lead of the race, and their concern is there that they didn't get credit for leading some laps they led before he took the lead.
I think that was just a catch-up announcement. They have Casey Kane on the board as leading 11 laps. So Matt Kenseth goes back out front. He's now led 17 laps today. Kane's Dodge in second, then the Chevrolets of Harvick, LaJoie, and Fedowa. Then a bunch of cars on the tail end of the lead lap headed up by Joe Nemechek. And it will take another caution flag to cycle this field back to what we'd call normal, where the leader is lined up right behind the pace car. Dick Berggren.
Mike Kalanoff is Matt Kenseth's spotter, and Kalanoff and I got together in the trailer this morning and had some conversation. And Kalanoff said, and he has watched Kenseth probably more than anybody else, said his line at this racetrack is different than anyone else. And Kalanoff also said no one is better at hitting his marks lap after lap after lap than Matt Kenseth. And now that Kenseth's in the clear, he's in a position to open up some distance between himself and the rest of the world.
Of course, in the clear is relative because up ahead of him he has fellows like this. Kyle Busch in the 5, Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25. They're not that far in front of the race leader. They're trying to stay on the lead lap.
They're trying to stay on the lead lap and still race each other, too, and that gets kind of tough sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you got the spotter hollering at you, hey, the leader's coming, and, you know, you're pedaling as hard as you can go.
Let's show you the gap to Kenseth. .48 laps to go for Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Casey Kane, Ford, Chevy, Dodge in the first 3 spots. LaJoie, Chevrolet, and Johnny Saunders Pontiac in 5th. Green flag stops have begun. Michael Waltrip, Stacy Compton, Billy Parker, and Kyle Busch on pit road.
And this should be their last stop should we stay under green. It's coming here with about 50 laps to go for these guys. Now, what these guys hope, they don't want to get in the same situation that group got in a while ago. They need this thing to stay green and cycle through these green flag pit stops.
Dick Berggren.
The 5-car, Kyle Busch is in. He is making a pit stop. Going to take 4 tires on that car. Behind him, Billy Parker is also making a pit stop with steam pouring out of the engine on Parker's car. Busch now gone.
Pit road empty for the moment, but for Billy Parker. And we're into the window of pit stops. Robert Presley brings the Clorox Ford down pit road. And we still have now 11 cars on the lead lap. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has just gone a lap down after dominating the first 50 laps. Jason Keller, pole sitter Mike Bliss, Robbie Gordon, Paul Wolfe, and Kyle Busch with his pit stop, each going laps down. Michael Waltrip, black flagged by NASCAR and coming back to pit road. He had just made a stop a lap ago. A lug nut missing on Michael Waltrip's Aaron Chevy.
And this is something that this is the most important thing that happens right now on these last green flag stops. No mistake by the pit crew like lug nuts, no mistake entering or leaving pit road by the driver.
And Billy Parker is coming back down pit road. Jason Keller is in. He was one of those tail end of the lead lap cars from the last restart.
I can't believe
also missed a lug nut.
I can't believe how much the cars are really slowed now. They're running on the 34-second bracket. I mean, they've lost a ton of time. The track is really slow right now. Of course, everybody's on the older tires. They got to come to the pits, get them fresh tires, but boy, the pace has really dropped off.
You want to be the last car on pit road or the lead lap cars, you know what I'm trying to say? Be careful, these guys are all that time, they're not going to catch up on their tires anyway.
Exactly. Matt Kenseth, he's sitting in the catbird seat. He has a 9-second lead. What he's saying, let them all pit, then I'll come to pit road. I don't want to take a chance of being on pit road, Dick Berggren, and having a caution burn me.
Yeah, and Matt Kenseth has been on the radio on 2 separate occasions asking Rambo Liberati, his crew chief, when to pit. He just is so interested in the pit, the exact lap in which he's going to pit. And finally, Liberati told him lap 167 to 168, and then you heard the rest. He didn't want to wait that long.
This guy is a thinking, hitting his marks kind of driver. I don't know, what would you say, Darrell? David Pearson kind of driver.
You hit the nail right on the head. That's what I was thinking. He just lays out. He's calm, he's cool, but he's always thinking ahead about what's next. What am I going to do next? What's the best move for me to win this race? And the biggest thing is, just like Pearson, he never beats himself.
Kyle Busch had a moment coming down the front straightaway, dropped all the way to the apron as he came by.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. These cats come in now, get fresh tires. They're picking up almost 3 seconds. So the closing rate is really big. You run up on 2 or 3 cars, you got to go, baby. You got to go around them.
Let me just tell you, had a big moment that tried to come to pit road but didn't make it. Was Joe Nemechek in the 87 car. He just all but missed the entrance and had to go back out on the racetrack. That's going to cost him some time, too.
Now, Darrell, these are veteran drivers. Hornaday, Nemechek making mistakes getting onto pit road.
But they're under a lot of pressure right now. Ins and outs, getting in, getting out. You can gain so much time right there, and they don't have time to give up because they're trying to stay ahead of Kenseth.
You see right there, I mean, it's slick coming on the pit road, and that commit cone really makes them have to commit early.
Steve Burns waiting on Nemechek.
And Mike, Joe Nemechek described his race car late in that run as a little bit tight or snug down in turn 3. Otherwise, he said it was good. But he did, as Larry Mack documented, have problems getting on pit road. Left side tires going on Joe Nemechek's Chevrolet. No other adjustments. And he has a clear shot down pit road.
Darrell, like you said,
he's got more problems.
But he's got a gas
problems.
can.
The problems just continue. Even though it fell out of the car, he took equipment away from his pit box. He's going to have to come back to pit road again.
And that's just the pressure and the frustration of knowing you had a car that could win this race, trying to make up time in places where it's really not possible.
Kevin Harvick in the 21 comes to pit road.
Harvick, the 3rd place car. Now let's show you what happened to Joe Nemechek first trying to get onto pit road.
We've been talking about those commit cones right there, the double cones right there. There you see him coming onto the apron. Too much speed. He can't get there. He can't get there. Now, he lost 4 seconds right there, but if he'd have come onto pit road, it would have cost him another penalty.
1 error by the driver, 1 by the pit crew. The signal to go, and they can't get the can out of the car.
And the hits just keep on coming.
12-gallon dump can. Spent. A lot of pit stops coming. Randy LaJoie is in. You saw Kevin Harvick come down pit road. That was 3rd and 5th place. J.J. Yaley's in. Mike Wallace, Eric McClure. each making a stop. There's Yaley. He's had a good day. Started out got a little off to a slow start, fell back in the pack, but he's given a good account of himself here.
But he did a really smart thing. He didn't force it. He knew he was in trouble. He kind of found him a place where he could get comfortable.
Joe Nemechek serves his penalty.
And not happy either.
And here, that black car is Casey Kane, the second place car pitting. Jeannie?
Well, Casey saying, I need to get in better. It is very tight in the center off. They took the only rubber they had out of the rear earlier, so the best they can do, air pressure adjustments on the front, and then they're going to adjust the track bar on the back.
See, he unhooked that rear bar. Now, that made the car too loose, but you've got different springs in the back of the car when you have a rear bar hooked up. So with the rear bar unhooked, it's definitely going to tighten the car up, and over the long haul, must be tightening it up too much.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. is on pit road. So is Kenny Wallace and Jason Leffler. Now, how is Matt Kenseth's strategy playing out? That's Kenseth, our leader, the yellow car on the left of your screen. And he is 17 seconds ahead of the new second place car of Johnny Sauter, 27 seconds ahead of Martin Truex, 30 seconds ahead of David Green. And because of pit stops, everybody else is a lap behind the number 9 car.
But now we're getting to the fuel window on these cars. They're going to have to come to pit road here in the next few laps, as I think we see Johnny Sauter in the 27 car, second place car. He comes to pit road for 4 tires. I have to believe Matt Kenseth will be coming here very quickly.
He's coming this time.
Right now.
Here he comes.
No mistakes.
Nice and smooth down on the pit lane.
This fella's the Cup champion. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
And his Nextel Cup teammate Greg Biffle in the 60 car has just about to go, just went a lap down, so he comes to pit road as well. Jeannie, you were Johnny Sauter.
Yes, and he's feeling a bad vibration, guys, but he's not sure what it is, so he's going to bank on the fact maybe it is indeed the tires. So, of course, he's getting 4 tires, fuel, and air pressure adjustment in those tires as well. Dick?
Kenseth's on his way down pit road. Rambo Liberati had bidden to the crew one at a time and exhorted them, let's make this a perfect stop. No mistakes at all. There will be no changes in the car. Kenseth has just waved off a drink of water. They're not changing anything except 4 tires and throwing some fuel in this race car that is pinning out of the lead. Strong car. There goes the windshield tear off, and there goes Kenseth.
David Green comes in. He's one of the contenders for his final stop of the day. Steve?
And Mikey momentarily stalled the car. Crew Chief Jason Ratcliffe, also the front tire changer. No adjustments to the 37.
So Martin Truex Jr., the rookie from New Jersey, assumes the lead. There he is in the Teresa and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chance 2 Motorsports number 8. When they come to the green, the Samstown 300 will have 21 laps to go.
Well, that 5 car jumped up on the outside, Larry, and he got a pretty good run on these cats going down here into turn 1.
Kyle Busch, he's back in 5th position right now. Restarted back in 5th.
He made he got about a bunch of those slow cars down the inside on that restart.
And he's going to get the black flag for jumping the restart.
I didn't want to say anything, but he sure was aggressive.
Which is not going to be good with 20 laps to go.
Well, and trying to get on pit road, trying to get on pit road right there up in front of the field, he's going to have to really be careful. He get run over.
Oh!
That's
He just slapped
for the lead
hard.
Dave Blaney in the 31.
Oh,
Sauter got him.
Yeah, Sauter just turned Blaney around.
And it wasn't it Sauter that collided with Kenseth?
Oh, yeah.
And the caution is out.
The green flag is just waved over Matt Kenseth with 15 laps to go. Kyle Busch came in to serve his penalty on pit road for jumping the restart, but the pits had not yet been open for that caution flag. So he got another penalty, got to restart at the tail end of the longest line. Trying to climb back up through, and that's going to be a tough order with 18 cars on the lead lap.
I think with that damage to that right front fender on Kenseth's car, it's going to make the car a little tight, Larry, because it's tucked all the way in there. He's going to lose a lot of front grip, and he's going to hurt off the corner there like that. His car's going to take off with it.
That's where Kevin Harvick in the 21 got such a run there, neck and neck down the backstretch in turn 3. I believe Kenseth will have to let him have the lead.
I believe if he'll tuck in behind him now and take some and use the car in front of him, that the car will be better.
But that was the first time in over 100 lap of restarts that Matt Kenseth, as the leader, was able to restart the race at the front of the pack.
Kevin Harvick leads for the first time today. 12 to go. Steve Burns.
With Brian Patty, crew chief for Joe Nemechek. Brian, you went from 18th to the lead, got penalized on pit road. That caution could have been a big break for you, an up and down day.
I'm mentally exhausted. I don't.
We all are.
Yeah, I know it's been crazy, but you got to be on top of your game as far as knowing the penalties and how the NASCAR works. The guys chose that were a tail and lead lap to stay on the right side. I was behind the leader a lap down, so I chose to go the inside to the front, which helped out. We got our lap back. But 71 Chevrolet has been, probably the fastest car here. We're probably not going to win, but it's been a good showing. We'll take this car back to Texas and get them there.
Let's go to Jeannie.
Well, Lady Luck with the 32 car of David Stremme this weekend as well. Boy, the only time he has ever driven this track outside of just this weekend was on a computer, guys. He actually came to Las Vegas last year and he watched Jamie McMurray went from 33rd in a lap down to 4th. Whatever he learned from Jamie, it's working good for him now.
So far, so good, Jeannie. Dave Blaney checked at the infield care center and released. He is okay after that 3-car crash that brought out the most recent caution. 3 wide. Billy Parker in the middle. Truex tried the bottom, no room. Biffle and Compton both move up. That is about 13th place.
All these cars are on the lead lap except for the car Billy Parker, the 66. There you see Joe Nemechek in the 87 car. He's had a good car all day long. We talked to Brian Patty, though. All the penalties has really put him back in the field, but he's just lucky to be on the lead lap.
Smoke there from the tail of David Green. See if that's anything. As we get down to 10 laps to go. 4th place. Casey Kane back in it. Battling the dodge of David Stremme, the 32. And both of them trying to get to the front.
Yeah, and right behind him is little brother Michael. He's coming up through there too. He got him some good skins on this time. He's making some runs toward the front. He's up to 6th place.
Right now with 9 laps to go.
All clear.
Has pulled out to a 2.5 lead. He's just driving away. There he is right there coming at us down the backstretch.
Yeah, I think Kenton, of course, has just got his hands full right now. That old car is beat up, guys. I don't see how he's hanging on to it, really.
I don't know if Casey Kane has enough time, but he might have something for Harvick. First, though, he's got to get past Matt Kenseth.
Yeah, he might have something for Harvick, but Harvick would have to slow a little. Here comes Kane.
2nd place.
I just believe that right front fender damage is just killing that 9 car, Matt Kenseth.
Yeah.
He just, as you say, right there, he can't get off the corner. Casey Kane pulls him 5 car lengths.
Slide the nose right there because he got no downforce. Got the tires turned, got no grip on that front end now.
Dick Berggren.
And Kenseth has another problem. He just came on the radio and remarked that the car is terrible on new tires, and that's what he's got.
And I think it's not so much the new tires, Dick, as it is that right front fender.
Kenseth gives up 3rd there. That's David Stremme in the Trim Spa Dodge.
You know, as I watch Kevin Harvick drive away from the field here with 7 laps to go, this has got to make him and Richard Childress feel good. This is not the same ride as he was in last year. Remember, Richard Childress basically swapped his drivers. He didn't swap the crews. He now has Rick Vires, the cars that Ron Hornaday drove last year. I mean, everybody just swapped their entire organization, just kept the drivers the same.
1.47 seconds last time by. Let's see if Kane knocked anything out of Harvick's lead.
He's closing.
He did. It's down to 1.1 with 6 to go.
And this joint right here is classic for side-by-side finishes.
Deja vu all over again. 2 weeks ago
got no pressure behind. Focus on the 21.
Focus, baby. Focus. You closing? Come on. Big.
Kane spotter. It went from 1.4 to 1.1. We'll check it again here with 5 laps to go. But Casey Kane is reeling in Kevin Harvick. 1.1 seconds down to 0.9 seconds.
Oh, he's definitely coming. This is going to be a real tight. It's going to be close at the line here. Might see another finish like we saw last week, Mike.
If he gets 2/10 every lap, Darrell, they're side by side at the checker.
He's so good off the corner right now, especially off turn 2. He gained another 3 or 4 car lengths down the backstretch.
Had a pole. He got a pole this week. Had a second last week. Here he is on a run. Good run today. Won the last Busch race at Homestead. This kid is coming. He's on fire.
But that's good information his spotter is giving him. No pressure from behind. You just focus on your line running down that 21 car, Kevin Harvick.
Let's see. Did he get another 2/10?
Yes, sir.
He did. Plus, you got to remember something. He's getting the suck now. He's got enough. He's close enough now that he's getting a little toe from that 21 car.
He got a quarter second that time as Michael Waltrip passes Matt Kenseth for 4th place.
Yeah, Mikey has really done a good job. He made some great calls down there in the pit and got him up to 4th place.
In the backstretch going into turn 3. Now it's just car lengths. 5 car lengths separate the leaders.
If they get, it's too bad we don't have a few more laps, because I tell you, Stremmy's not that far back either.
Crew chiefs can just sit and watch and wait. It's in the driver's hands now. 3 laps to go.
That's what you call getting a whip out now. That 38 is popping that whip.
I believe Doug Stringer, he may pull him off a crew chief position here after today. Crew chief for Casey Kane.
I think the common denominator, Larry, is Casey Kane.
Yeah, I
it
believe
looks like anybody's going to look good with him in the behind the wheel.
You see the last lap speeds.
He's there now.
Watch right here, though. Middle of the corner off. That's where he really makes a run on Kevin Harvick, as they're going to be coming down to 2 laps to go this time.
2 car lengths apart.
And there's probably nobody tougher to try to take the win away from in the cat in the lead right now, Kevin Harvick. He's not going to give it up, I can tell you that.
It's been a long day, but all 100,000 people here standing on their feet right now.
Stremme is 3rd, Waltrip now 4th. They are 2 and 4 seconds back respectively. Hamilton 5th, 5 seconds behind. He just took 5th from Kenseth. Fito was 7th, Keller 8th, Nemechek 9th, David Green 10th. But now the margin has stabilized at about 2.5 car lengths.
Well, now is when, as a rookie now, you've got to be sure that you don't overdrive your race car and lose a lot of time by doing that.
If you overdrive the entrance, you won't get off the corner. Let's see it. White flag this time.
Back off early, get on it quick.
Will it be the veteran or the young driver with the young crew chief?
Right here, if he can get off of this corner with him and make it run down the back, I don't think he's going to quite make it.
Darrell, I believe he's got so close to him now, his car is pushing behind Kevin Harvick. He can't get off the corner that good, but he's got one more shot through 3 and 4.
And 1.5 car lengths to make up.
He's going to go to the inside here. Harvick's got to try to close the door on him.
For the checkered flag, Harvick takes it low. Kane dives to the bottom, and on the apron, Harvick wins it.
There is no out of bounds here. That yellow line don't mean anything.
Oh, no, David Green just got turned.
He's going to come right back up in front of Greg Biffle, Billy Parker.
Holy cow.
Everybody gets by.
And David Green comes across the line in 11th position.
Backwards. What a day, guys.
If we haven't seen it all today, I don't know when.
I got a headache. I'm exhausted.
Picked up a terrible weekend to get off your Prozac, didn't you?
Bad weekend to give up Prozac, guys.
Kevin Harvick holds off the hottest young name in this sport, who for the second race in a row, 2 weeks ago Sunday and today, comes within a car length or so of victory lane. This team made a switch from Ford to Dodge, Casey Kane's team, in the off-season, so they've had a lot of work to do. Well,
king of burnouts.
Time to make the donuts.
And you know, let's give a call to Danny Culler, his spotter. He talked him through that wreck here on the front stretch. Unlike Johnny Sauter and Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick came through unscathed, and I think that made a big difference at the end, too.
Yeah, Harvick could have easily have gotten his front end knocked off in that wreck there with Kenseth and those guys.
Kevin's going to light up the hides.
Oh, light him up, buddy. Oh, he's drifting a little bit. He's going down the hill.
Well, he's from California, where drifting is a big racing sport.
And he will keep the lead in the Busch Series points. He's not running all the races, but remember, this is the championship car from last year.
Here's what happened to David Green.
I'm telling you, this could have been a lot worse than it was. I know he gets some damage here, but that car was headed fast for that outside retaining wall.
Kevin Harvick getting a bath and doing some showering of his own. Kevin Harvick, that was a hard-fought victory. Tell us about the closing shootout. Tell us about the win.
Well, we kept this Reese Chevrolet in the race all day, and you know, we were off a little bit there at the beginning and kept adjusting, and it's all about putting yourself in the right spot, and we got ourselves in the right spot, and I'm just proud of this Reese's team. You know, we swapped all the teams last year, and Ricky Byers, I know how much this means to him, and everybody at RCR. Just really good day for us, and we just kept fighting.
Kevin, I know you love to race, but you love to win even more.
Well, I love to win, and that's why we do this Busch Series, is to get seat time and to do what we have to do to try to win races. But when we can win this close to home, it's even more special because I know a lot of those people are from Bakersfield and a lot of them are from around here and are hardcore fans. So we appreciate all of them. Our fans are great. They stick through us with anything, and no matter what I do wrong, they're always on our side. So it's awesome.
Kevin, were there any close calls today, any turning points in your mind?
I think the biggest turning point was when they had the wreck on the front straightaway, and Danny Keller told me to go low, and I missed the wreck, and the side of the 9 was bashed in, and you gotta keep everything together until the end of the race. I know Matt knows that, but just they got tangled up, and we won the race.